B Brazy was born Bruce Anthony Parrish Jr. on December 12th, 1974. He was born in Los Angeles, California, and a member of the Denver Lanes. He lost his life on May 9th, 2003, at the age of 28. B Brazy came up during a time when gang identity and rap culture overlapped heavily in Los Angeles. Unlike some rappers who later adopted gang imagery, B Brazy was viewed by many in the streets as an authentic member first and a rapper second. That authenticity is a major reason people still talk about him to this day. The first time I ever heard about B Brazy was probably the first time most of you heard about B Brazy. Bangin' on Wax 2, the saga continues. That was the second part of the project from the red team and the blue team. The first one was historic, so they decided to bring back a second one. And it was pretty good. Not my favorite from the series, but it was pretty damn good. I think DAMU RIDAS might be my favorite from the whole series. But these projects were organized partly through producer Ron Phillips and Dangerous Records. And what made B Brazy stand out right away off top was his voice was distinctive. His delivery sounded naturally aggressive. He sounded believable. He carried a real street respect. He wasn't just pretending to be active. You could tell this dude was doing his thing. B Brazy became one of the central members of DAMU RIDAS, and he set that album and that song off. Let's get high, bitch, in my DAMU ride. Man, when I heard that, it was a wrap. Definitely, I still bump it to this day. Got to be careful what neighborhoods I bump it in, but I definitely bump that DAMU RIDAS album. But B Brazy was on the majority of the tracks. He was on 11 of the 13 tracks on the album. I mean, he had multiple solo songs. And many of the hooks, like the one I just mentioned, are memorable along with his verses. Bees Can't Ride for Free, Young Active Brazy, Get Your Money, many, many more. B Brazy, Lil Hawk, and Big Y were the ones that stood out in that album. They were my favorite and probably most people's favorite. Their voices dominated the tracks. When they were on songs with everyone else, and no disrespect to any of the other rappers, because they were all pretty damn good. But when B Brazy, Lil Hawk, or Big Y was on a track, they stood out. They stood out. B Brazy never became commercially famous, but in LA, especially in the streets and amongst people who knew West Coast hip hop and underground West Coast hip hop, B Brazy was the man. I've always said he is the greatest blood rapper that never was. He should have been the biggest thing. If he wouldn't have lost his life at such a young age, he would have been the biggest thing. One reason people say his catalog is relatively small is because many people around the scene say street politics and legal problems disrupted a lot of his recording opportunities. Unlike industry rappers, many underground gang-affiliated artists from that era, they lived chaotic lifestyles. And that made long-term careers difficult. B Brazy's raw, unfiltered style influenced later street rappers from LA who emphasized authenticity over polished mainstream production. On May 9th, 2003, B Brazy lost his life at the Sandman Motel in Inglewood. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm going to mention about this is according to reports and long-standing street rumors. Please don't hold me to this, but this is information that is easily found if you just go on YouTube and look it up. According to reports and long-standing street rumors, he was allegedly set up. A Latina woman reportedly lured him into a motel. Rival members were waiting. They were allegedly connected to a certain set that I'm not going to mention. But he was hit multiple times. He suffered cardiac arrest and was pronounced gone at the hospital. And to this day, the murder remains officially unsolved. B Brazy, one of the GOATs. We're going to give him some love on DustyVisionTV, as I have in the past. Whenever I have someone on my show who I know is affiliated or was around him or from the same neighborhood or whatever the case is, I ask them about B Brazy. Here are some clips from past shows where my guests and I discussed the late B Brazy, a.k.a. Braze for Days. Please hit that like button. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. R.I.P. B Brazy.
See, the thing was, B Brazy, his mom had used to do jerry curls and shit on 109th Place in Fig. She had a shop, so she did the jerry curls for all the homies. But B Brazy was never in the hood like that per se. But he was always at the shop with his mother and all that. And B Brazy used to fuck with Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo grew up on 106. Yeah, on 106 Figueroa. She was from the hood too. I don't want to put her business out there. She was from Devon Lanes, back then.
First crush. She was my first crush, dog. Real talk.
Oh yeah, for sure. Beautiful lady. So B Brazy was around there. So then he gradually he started coming to 109th, all that. So, but once he came, he was with the shit, so it wasn't no denying that. So now, since him being with the shit, he was always rapping too. Always rapping, and with us, my hood is real competitive. We got a whole bunch of dudes that rap. Yeah. Shit, not even in the LA, Pasadena, we got a gang of dudes that know how to do this music. So in my section, B Brazy come around late night. We part of that crew that's out there late night serving dope to them cars I was speaking about earlier. And while we out there, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, we freestyling, we beatboxing, and we battling and shit. And dude was always dope, man. He couldn't deny it. Real talented, left-hand dude. Can draw like a mug, man. That dude could have been an artist just on drawing.
Damn.
Every time it comes to writing on a wall, just give him the spray paint. Let him write. He drawing figures and cartoon characters and shit on the wall and dissing people, and he dissing people by drawing figures. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude was real talented, man. Like super talented, man. And it's a damn shame what happened, man, because all these rappers reference him. YG, Gang, all them, they know about this dude. I mean, I'm saying they know about him, probably never met him before, but they know about him. And I don't think that he knew that he had a following big as he did back then. And remember, back then, it wasn't no, internet, YouTube and all that shit. You know, we didn't have that.
Yep.
We was doing this shit off rapping on tapes and, you know, getting the tapes out there. And, you know, the banging on wax and all that came about. That spreaded his legacy. But even now, you can do this shit yourself. You feel me? You can put your own music out. You can shoot your own video. So if he would have had that capability now, sky's the limit, man. So yeah, but he deserve all the props he get. Period. Dude, real talented, man. Can't deny it.
Man. Did he used to freestyle back in the day or anything? Because I remember.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
Man. When I heard first, when I heard him on Dom, was it "Let's Get High, Bitch"? Just that opening line was like, damn, who is this voice? That voice was. There was never another voice like it.
He's when we freestyle, he always go to this line when he freestyle. He say he met a Martian bitch with 3 titties or some shit. He, dude, yeah, but he always go to that line when he freestyle. But his imagination was just out of this world, man. He called himself the Martian, Braze Mac the Martian, or Braze the Days,
Yeah.
But that's what we used to do, bro. We go get a 40 ounce. A little $5 bag of weed. We go in the cut, roll that shit up, 2 blunts with the 40, with the music, and we on. Me, him, A-Ball, with that, man, and that's where, we developed our skills from.
First of all, B Brazy is my relative. I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he my relative, he's one of my best friends from different lanes. You know what I'm saying? Because, he's from different lanes from Crenshaw Mafia. And, that's where the Mafia lane come in, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. I love him. He was one of the most bulliest motherfuckers to bicker with. You know what I'm saying? We just like, we just smoke one, a beat to come on. It could be LL or something. It could be Ice Cube on fuck who. We just get the gas over the niggas and over the beat. And next thing you know, we like, bro, we gotta get this motherfucking boom. And next thing you know, we that motherfucker just gas and smash and shit. And a lot of that shit, a lot of shit where I was, it was freestyle for me. You know what I'm saying? Because my freestyle game so cold. So a lot of it was freestyle writing. So I just wrote some fast, quick work type of shit. So whenever me and him got together, we had a certain kind of chemistry, kind of like, I guess you would say, like, Corrupt and Daz and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We had like a special kind of chemistry that we could take that rap phase with whoever, and we really was from the hood, so we wasn't scared of no MC. We weren't scared to say certain words, because, we were saying crazy shit, though. You already know, period. You know what I'm saying? So, we were able to show our bravery, that we weren't scared of the Crips, because, the Crips had everybody food, like, the Bloods and bitch-ass niggas or something. And, for movies like Colors and all that weird shit, and, Ministers of Society, I could name all kind of shit where Hollywood portrayed the blood like we were some suckers. So when Lil Hawk and B Brazy, we talking about step on the scene, we had to show the world that we tried this Hollywood fake shit, having like we some bitch-ass niggas, because, the Crips, they already know what time it is. So, everybody can say what they want to say, but the Crips knew that when it came to the Crenshaw Mafia and different lanes, specifically us, we weren't playing no motherfucking game. So that's why we was that aggressive on the microphone, because the Crips in real life knew y'all can play these Hollywood ass bullshit ass games, but in real life, y'all know we tearing shit up. So nigga, don't play with us like that.
Yo, B Brazy though, that was a dude from Denver Lane that my boys Big Y and Sugar Booger brought around. I fell in love with that dude. I love how he rapped and how his lingo, and he got still one of the hardest hard room songs ever done, in my opinion. So Like It Like That with the Relative off the Takeover.
Okay.
And after that, I was going to sign, I did sign B Brazy to do some things. And I was starting to mess with B Brazy, but that pimping in him too hard, and I got the best of him.
Yeah, I knew Braze pretty good, real good actually. Like I met him through his other homie, Lil Laniac.
Laniac dudes.
And so they was trying to get on, on the Bangin' on Wax, but we knew them from coming up to like Darby Park, and the lanes always function with Inglewood, so just passing, and then we met them guys, and Braze was cool. We ended up staying like later on in life, we stayed around the corner from each other in Hawthorne for like a couple years. He was a real down to earth, funny dude, real into this banging life though. He was like, one of them ones that, he was never gonna stop. It don't seem like it. He was never gonna stop, or he may have calmed down a little bit, but he was in it for the long haul, and he was a good dude, man. He was real, like I said, he was real funny, you could tell in his music.
Mm-hmm.
He had character. He was a good dude, man. Let me see some things I can tell you about Mr. Bruce.
Real name is Bruce, huh?
Us in the studio when we did, his name is Bruce. So we was in the studio, doing DAMU RIDAS 2, we all got really, really tight, you know what I'm saying? Because the reason why we did DAMU RIDAS 2 was because they had a last album deal, and it was really for Braze and Little Hawk to get who they was going to get and to do the last album. But Braze really didn't, have no homies like that. Well, he had homies that rap, but I don't know what transpired why he didn't bring nobody along. But he came and got me and my brother, and then he came and got we Green Eyes. He went and got Green Eyes. You know what I'm saying? It was like, do this for Lil Hawk. So we was like, man, we all with it. Let's do it, So that's kind of how that came about.
I remember when B Brazy got killed, man. Me and my brother was going to the liquor bank right there on Stalker, man. And we ran into a couple of the homies, up there, man. That was a cold time, man. He was the Marvin Gaye of gangster rap. For real, though.
Damn. You know what? I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of his stuff that wasn't really popular, man, and dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah, you really gotta dig in the crates, man, and listen to him, not just the stuff that was popularized and radio friendly. You really need to just go through his whole catalog, man, and really peep him out, because he's very diverse and he was very articulate, man. It's not too many artists, man, that have that type of versatility to come off like he did, man, and he meant everything he said.
I did an album called Flamin', and he was a part of that album, man. It's just a picture of a red 64 Chevy, and it say Flamin'. And a bunch of brothers from the red team got at Lonzo, hey man, I'm both side friendly, okay? And hey man, let's do something. I got all these tapes already. They didn't need no studio time. It was already finished. All I had to do was put it out on my label. And him and some more folks was all, June and Tough Kid and a bunch of other guys, Wayne B. Most of these guys either moved on or still recording on their own. And it was just amazing how many of these guys that was on that project ain't here no more.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now.
So they had like this little squad of some officers on E-Yard at that time who were very proactive, we'll say. And so when they called us in, the new arrivals, a couple of days after we had arrived, into the office to do like a little screening, right, with these officers, one of the officers told me to take off my shirt. Now I'm blasted up, gang tattoos, right? So I take off my shirt. They're asking me, what does this stand for? What does that stand for? They're saying, you're affiliated with the Bloods and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm saying, whoa. I've been off of that tip since Pelican Bay, 2009, documented that I'm a Muslim, period. Right? And they're still trying to stick me with this. So I end up going to go see my counselor about it. I wanted to let my counselor know that this is the issue for me. I don't want that tag on me. Don't be putting nothing on my file or on my bed card or anything like that, identifying me as a gang member. I'm not a gang member, right? So we get to talking, and, my counselor basically tells me, don't worry about it. It's just, a little thing they do, and you're good. But you do have an enemy. I'm saying, I got an enemy. Yeah, he says, you got a documented enemy, right? So he couldn't tell me who, but after a while, I put two and two together, and I realized it was the guy, Lil Mike, from my case. Right when he left the yard at Centinela, he used my name to get off the yard. Right, so I'm like, oh, here we go with this. And then he went a little bit deeper into my file, and he said, I see something here written by a sergeant at R.J. Donovan, identifying you as possibly being a member of the Bloods. I'm saying this was just in 2017. What are you talking about? And so he read the information to me. It was a 128 General Information Chrono in my file, saying that I had moved into the cell with another known Pueblo bishop, right? And that I was possibly involved in gang activity. And so I'm saying to myself, wow, this was the counselor in the housing unit that I lived in for a short time at Donovan right before I left when I moved in the cell with Puba. And that's who he was talking about and what he was talking about. At some point, he looked into my file and my celly's file and made the connection that we were both from the same gang at one point, and we were close in age, obviously, and therefore we were involved in gang activity again. Right? And so that really left an impression on me. One of my cardinal rules had been up until that point not to move into the cell with any homies or anything of that nature for that reason, to avoid that altogether. And I broke that rule and did it, like I said back then, because this was the last time I was going to see a childhood friend for a very long time. We would probably never run into each other in prison again because of he has life without, and he can't get down to a level 2, which is where I was headed. That bonehead decision led the sergeant, who was the counselor at the time, to put that in my file. And now here these people go looking at me talking about, yeah, it checks out. It all checks out. You're a gang member. Mind you, I hadn't been involved in any gang activity with that gang since all the way back to the county jail. We're talking 2006, 7. Here it is, 2018, and I'm still trying to outrun my past, but it's following me like a tail on a dog, right? So, me and my criminal thinking, the first thing I started plotting on was, how can I get me a cell phone, right? I wanted to jump back on. So I started plotting for the next 2 or 3 months about how, when, where I would get a cell phone and how I was going to keep it. And somebody gave me some good advice very early on at CMC West. He said, if you get a phone, be prepared to buy 5 or 6 of them because they're going to come get it. And you're going to have to jump right back on, right? And I'm like, nah. He's like, yeah. These people, that little team that screens you, these people will come to your bed area and straight up tell you, give me the phone. Don't make us tear up your bed area looking for it. And I'm like, yeah, they getting down like that? He said, watch. About 2 or 3 weeks go by, I'm chilling on my bed. Guy across the dorm from me on his bed, right? A friend of mine from the past that I had gave that same spiel to, who didn't follow that advice. They came right there to his locker, right? And told him, give it to me. Shook him down, got what they was looking for, wrote him up, and moved on. I watched this scene play out time and time and time again until I decided, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna get me another phone. I don't have the type of resources to keep spending $700, $800, $900 every few months to get a new phone. That's over with, right? So I stayed away from the phones and slowly but surely gravitated towards getting a trade, going to self-help groups, and being an active participant in all of the things that the Muslims had going on that was positive and above board. You know, being a pillar.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
At first, I didn't see any real results from what I was doing. But I was in the seed planting stage of my growth and development at that time, right? And I made some really very good friends, some worthwhile friends, some people that I really consider my friends, which I don't really use that term lightly for people I've met in prison. But I made some friends, and over the next year or two, right, they put me in a position where I would soon have the keys to the self-help community and will become the chairman of our organization for mentors and facilitators. My friends put me in position. They said, you're the right person for the job, and it's going to be on you to do it. Once the associate warden, Miss McQuaid, seen my character and my pedigree, she made me an offer. You can come over here and work full-time in the library and run the self-help programs in CMC West. You'll work directly under me, or you can continue on your positive programming journey that you're already on, stay in boat, and do your own thing. I thought on it for about a month. I took her up on the offer, and she moved me into my new office immediately. My life has never been the same since, and I gotta send a shout out to her and thank her for all the great things that she did for us that no executive manager in any prison that I had ever been in up until that point had done. Like actually coming to group and participating in group like she was wearing blues. We're talking about a 60-something-year-old white woman, well-to-do in life, educated, business background, sitting in group with the hardest of the hardest, popping it.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And things went smooth for me. It looked like I was on the trajectory to possibly getting resentenced and coming home early. Life was looking up. I was in a good place. And then COVID hit.
And R.I.P. to Big Y, man. Let's keep his legacy alive, man. Can you talk to us about Big Y for a minute?
That's my brother, most definitely. That's my brother.
Yeah, can you talk to us about Big Y, man? What was he like? You know, just any if you have a funny story or something like that, just to keep his legacy alive. You know what I mean?
Hey man, let me tell you something. Big Y was a one of a kind, man. I'm gonna say that, man. Big Y was he was a comedian. He was a real homie. You know what I'm saying? If he fuck with you, he gonna fuck with you. If he love you, he gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? He was a good friend. He was a good brother, man. You know what I'm saying? But even good friends and brothers, man, sometimes you have debates about shit. You know, sometimes y'all disagree about shit, but you still love each other. Though, you know what I'm saying? So even when I disagreed with some of the shit he had going on, even when I was in prison, he was still my brother the whole motherfucking time. Though I love him, I miss him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he was a hell of a motherfucking rapper. I'm talking about he the only motherfucker I know that put in overtime on gangster shit representing this beat the way that he did it, with motherfuckers that fell off, when do what they were supposed to do. So Big Y play a major part of this blood rapping shit and this Inglewood shit. So he definitely go down in the Hall of Fame with my books with me and a few other motherfuckers. So he was a hell of a motherfucking rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a good friend, a real brother. You know what I'm saying? He was a good dude. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody, you know, got their own different ways and characteristics and shit. We all do. Ain't nobody motherfucking perfect, but like I said, man, I love him. I miss him. That's my brother. Like I said, still support his music. He was a great MC, one of the best, period. And that's my boy, that's my brother, period. That's my dog. Rest in peace, Big Y. You already know. Nigga beat you in the morning, man, straight up.
Man, yeah, R.I.P. to Big Y, man. Too young. You know, someone else who we lost too, very young, and I would love to know your thoughts or any funny stories or just his impact on West Coast hip hop. But Red Rum 781, Leak's brother.
Wow, hey,
man.
Hey, that's another one.
He was a good dude, man. He would always drop every time I met him, even if it was for like 2 seconds. He would always drop a little game. I remember just kind of being around him. I was in his presence at certain events, and I would just always hear him either soaking up game or just really just like kind of just putting a youngster on game. That's what I remember about him.
Hey, man, Red Rum was genuine. A genuine good homie, a brother, friend. See, one thing about DAMU, you know, blood, powers, homies, period. We all related up under the bandana, up under the blood and powers, so we all related. No matter what blood or power neighborhood you come from, all the other ones is your relative. So that's my brother, that's my relative, man. And man, Red Rum always supported me, man. Even when I was in prison, he was trying to, you know, put me on with beats and shit and all that. I was in a fucked up position where I couldn't really do what I had to do on my end, but he was trying his best. You know, I was trying to make shit. I always had a cell phone, so you know, I was trying to drop shit on phones, and he was working with me, man. And so I'm saying, man, he was a great dude, you know, and he tried to do whatever he could do for me, but it just on my end kind of messed up. So that's why you didn't hear nothing when I was in prison. But man, Red Rum, that's my motherfucking nigga. That's my road dog. That's my brother. You know, Lil Leak, that's my brother. We got some shit going on right now. I ain't gonna spoil the surprise, but I will say that me and Lil Leak, Red Rum, little brother, man. You already know. If y'all follow the BANGlN Wax, Lil Leak, he treacherous too. So me and him got some treacherous gangster shit going on right now for Inglewood in the city, and to keep Red Rum, you know, name a lot, Big Y, you know, B Brazy, Spider, Mad Eyes, Tiptoe, KP, Lil Laniacs, to name a few. That's like the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my relative Pimp D. That's everybody has some group, that DAMU RIDAS project. You know what I'm saying? Gangster Lynn, you know, G Lynn, that's my nigga. You know, shit like that. So it's real shit going on. Mock dudes. You know, I can just keep going on and on and on. But like I said, right now, you know, it's about what we about to do right now with this shit, though. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you got a lot of big things going on.
Say, like you just said, we got to keep them alive. We got to keep it going. So the big question is, what we going to do now with it?
Yep. Yeah, man, that's.
And I can just say this, I'm coming for niggas, period.
Coming back for your position, because let's keep it real, Hawk. You were the one. You stood out, dog. I'm banging on wax. You stood 100%. You and B Brazy, R.I.P., were the two standouts as a hip hop head, in my opinion.
You want to know why though? Not only was we the horse, like you said, we stood out, but we was real street niggas, and still is, my boy, rest in peace. But we had style, we had charisma. We was a fly young niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, with class and style, we was G'd up. We was really from the hood. Type shit, you know what I'm saying? We were no studio banging ass niggas that under this punk shit. So I appreciate you for that recognition, especially, you know what I'm saying, for giving me that love like that. But I'm not in the money though, not in the money for sure, no doubt though.
That's definite. That's definite. Yeah, B Brazy was one of those ones who he would have, if he would have stayed alive, he would have been the biggest thing ever, dog. He had everything, man. He had that voice. First of all, it was very distinguished and distinctive. Like there was only one B Brazy, and like you said, the style, man. Can you talk to us a little bit about B Brazy, man, before we start to wrap it up?
First of all, B Brazy is my relative. I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he my relative, he's one of my best friends from different lanes. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he's from different lanes from Crenshaw Mafia, and you know that's where the Mafia lane come in. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. I love him. He was one of the most boldest motherfuckers to bicker with. You know what I'm saying? We just like, we just smoke one, a beat to come on. It could be LL or something. It could be Ice Cube. We don't fuck who it was. We just get the gas over the niggas and over the beat. And next thing you know, we like, bro, we like, get this motherfucking boom. And next thing you know, we that motherfucker just gas and smash and shit. And a lot of that shit, or well, a lot of shit, it was freestyle for me. You know what I'm saying? Because my freestyle game so cold. So a lot of it was freestyle writing. So I just wrote some fast, quick work type of shit. So whenever me and him got together, we had a certain kind of chemistry, kind of like, I guess you would say, like, you know, corrupting dads and stuff. You know, so we had like a special kind of chemistry that we could take that rap phase with whoever, and we really was from the hood, so we wasn't scared of no MC. We weren't scared to say certain words, because, you know, we were saying crazy shit, though. You already know, period. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we were able to show our bravery, that we weren't scared of the Crips, you know, because, you know, the Crips had everybody fooled, like, you know, the Bloods and bitch-ass niggas or something, and, you know, for movies like Colors and all that weird shit, and, you know, Minister of Society, I could name all kind of shit where Hollywood portrayed the Bloods like we were some suckers. So when Lil Hawk and B Brazy, we talking about step on the scene, you know, we had to show the world that we tried this Hollywood fake shit, having like we some bitch ass niggas, because, you know, the Crips, they already know what time it is. So, you know, everybody can say what they want to say, but the Crips knew that when it came to the Crips, I'm out in different lanes, specifically us, we weren't playing no motherfucking game. So that's why we was that aggressive on the microphone, because the Crips in real life knew y'all can play these Hollywood ass bullshit ass games, but in real life, y'all know we tearing shit up. So nigga, don't play with us like that.
When did incarceration start entering your life?
About 94.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely 94.
Yeah. Tell us about your introduction into, you know, your first time going to jail or juvie hall or whatever the case was.
Oh man, that was crazy. I mean, you know, that was something different. Being away from home, being away from, you know, my sisters and things like that, that was a totally different thing for me. It was definitely something I wasn't used to. But, you know, being a part of, you know, that culture, I want to say, you know, back around that time, man, just being honest with you, you know, you got this image that you want to portray. And, you know, being honest with you, man, I didn't come from that type of lifestyle. A lot of us, we ain't come from that lifestyle. You know what I mean? You know, it's like seeing things in movies, hearing things, you know, on these radios and stuff like that. You know, it's like a lot of us, you know, we come from 2-parent homes. You know, we in the country. We really didn't have to live that type of lifestyle. But, you know, it's like we got this image. We want to be tough. We want to be cool. We want to hang out with the cool kids. So you can't really express outwardly how it really affects you. So therefore, you get into fights. You know, you act like you're tough, but really you're hurting though. So it really didn't. You know, it affected me inwardly, but outwardly, man, I couldn't let nobody know that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't let nobody know it affected me.
Yep. Now talk about some of the things that you were doing. And once again, to remind you and everybody out there, this isn't to glorify this life. This is just a person telling their story. And if this is a life you choose to lead, you know, after hearing, you know, so, but having people on my show, it's really to tell their story in hopes that you don't go down this same route, you know what I mean, and end up doing a lot of time behind bars, which is what we're going to get to later on as well. But what were some of the things that you were doing, Anthony, around this time that landed you behind bars?
Oh man, I had caught a gun charge. Yeah, I caught a gun charge. That was my first case that I had.
And how much time did you do?
Let me see. I stayed in juvie around that time, probably like 5-6 weeks, and you know, then I had got out, but you know, I went right back.
If you could put a number on it, how many years would you say that you've given to the system?
Oh man, altogether from juvenile till adult, man, I've definitely given over 15 years of my life to the system. Yeah, and you know, it's just, I mean, and I love the way that you gave that spiel a few minutes ago, man. You know, for anybody that's out there listening and whatnot, man, if you think that life is cool, nah, it's not, man. And you know, that's why I made that statement I made earlier, man. Like, man, for those that, you know, that don't come from that struggle or don't come from that culture, that lifestyle, man, if you don't have to pick it up, please don't pick it up, man, because it's a real system, man. It's a real system. And, you know, it's just looking back at it, man, you know, I really wish that, you know, I wouldn't have went that route and had to learn the hard way. You know, I really wish I wouldn't have. So I wish somebody is able to listen to this interview and take something from it.
What are some of the worst things about being locked up, man? You know, what are some of the things that you're like, man, this is for the birds. I need to get out of here. Talk to us about the horrors of jail and prison life.
Man, you know, one of the worst things I believe being behind bars that a lot of people don't think about, man, is, you know, your family passing away, not being you know, that's one of the things that I believe that's more detrimental. A lot of people don't think about that. You know, you're more selfish when you go in, but then when you get a letter and you say, hey man, your grandmama passed away, or your auntie or something like that, man, the reality gonna hit you when you walk about them gates, man, and they're no longer there no more.
Yeah, that's the one. My friend Perry, who is doing life right now, he's 17 years in on a life sentence. His mother just passed away from cancer, and it's just eating him alive, man. Just being inside, not able to do anything, and his mother just withered away on the outside. So think about that, kids, while you're out there living this life, while you're out there selling dope, while you're out there doing smash and grabs, while you're out there pimping, while you're out there hoeing, while you're out there banging. This is the reality for a lot of people in life. And unfortunately, my man Anthony had to do at least 15 years of his life he had to spend behind bars. That's crazy, man. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that. Talk to us about when you first met Ali.
Oh man, when I first met Ali, I knew that the gang culture was real. I'm gonna say it like that. He didn't do anything in particular. He wasn't flashy or nothing like that. Everything about his demeanor is said LA. It wasn't no act. Like us in the country, we didn't have to move the way that we did. We didn't know at that time, or at least I didn't know at that time, that it was a real culture. When I met him,
and this the early 90s we're talking, right?
Yeah, this is like 97.
Okay.
I met Ali in 1997. And, you know, it was some similarities between the two of us, and we immediately began to click with each other. And, you know, it's just, strangely as it may sound, you know, Ali was a real quiet dude, real articulate brother, sharp dressing. And, you know, we were kind of rowdy because we were trying to mimic a lot of these characters that we saw on TV. And Ali was like, whoa, bro, no, homie. Like, no, we don't do it like that, man. Like, chill out, bro. Like, like, man, like, it ain't no need for that, bro. Like, because he immediately saw that there was no need for us to portray a certain image or to act out in a certain way, because, you know, where we're from, it wasn't moving like that. You know, it really wasn't. It was really different. So, you know, it was like meeting him. It was an eye opener. You know, I'm gonna say that meeting him, it was definitely an eye opener.
Okay.
Today, and they're gonna be right there, so you can't hide from it. We all have to work together, and that's education. It's about people caring about each other.
One of the GOATs. Once again, pop. Like, it doesn't get more pop. Ice-T, if selling out was a real thing, Ice-T definitely sold out, right? Like, I don't believe it is. So I have always hated that term. It's so silly to me. But Ice-T ended up doing movies, and not only that, he plays a cop. He cut his hair. He's like, shit, y'all gonna give me $500,000 an episode? I will shave my nuts, my dog. But Ice-T came in on some Ice-T, ripping the microphone the way I do. Listen close, my brothers, because I'm talking to you. The problem is we got a suicidal lifestyle, because 90% of us are living foul and wild. Let's say job, you say bad joke. I'd rather jack another brother, watch the gun smoke, living in the fast lane, flipping like you're insane. You won't stop until your blowers down the street drain. I mean, dog, I got an idea. Give me a minute. And if it makes sense, then get with it. What if we could take an enemy's feed on poison? Undereducate the girls and boys and split them up, make them fight one another. Better yet, make them kill for a color. How deep are these lyrics? Come on, guys. And this was around a time, this is why I used to get pissed off when people like West Coast don't have any lyrics or never had any spitters. Like, can we knock that off? I remember at this time the East Coast was saying shit, you know, well, yeah, West Coast, man, we got better lyrics than y'all, blah, blah, blah. Now, we got lyrics too. We just spit them a little bit different, homie. And anybody who says anything I've said tonight is whack, you don't know hip hop. Respectfully. All right. So next up was Dr. Dre and MC Ren, members of NWA. At that time, of course, I had known who NWA is. Actually, that was right around the time I got introduced to NWA. Bell Gardens, California. It was NWA. Dr. Dre and MC Ren. And boy, who would have known this guy rapping on this song right here, jumping off that brick wall in the video? Who would have thought that he would become a mogul? Billionaire, inspirational. It wouldn't be no Snoop Doggy Dogg if it wasn't for Dre. It wouldn't be no Eminem if it wasn't for Dre. It wouldn't be no 50 Cent. I mean, these are all monumental people. It would be none of them without the one and only Doctor. But him and Ren are on here. And it's interesting that even looking back, I was like, oh, I wonder why Easy had his own verse at the end. Easy, you know, is the one that ends it off. But I remember thinking back then, why does, that's interesting that Dre and Ren are rapping and then Easy comes in later. But Easy was the bigger star. I didn't even, now I understand it, obviously. But Dre and Ren coming back to back on some, yo, we're not here to preach because we're not ministers. We're telling like it is because Ren and Dre, it's like sinister. Reality speaks for itself when it's spoken. A basshead cluck can't blame nobody for smoking. Yo, bullets flying, mothers crying, brothers dying, lying in the streets. That's why we're trying to stop it from falling apart and going to waste and keeping the smile off a white face. NWA were spitting lyrics back then, guys, to relegate them to 2 songs, you know, F the Police and Born and Raised Straight Outta Compton. Like, to relegate them, nah, you can't do that, dog. You can't do that. They were spitting some lyrics, and that shows right there. I mean, just a short 2 years later, Dre was smoking chronic and packing pistols, and I don't know how that transition happened, but this right here proves that they were on some black power shit, some black advancement type shit, right? Is that safe to say? You can't just limit them to F the Police is all I'm saying. All right, after that was JJ Fad. JJ Fad, they were Supersonic. Bum, bum, bum. Supersonic motivated rhymes I created. That's something, I hate it. Yeah, that's it. You guys know JJ Fad, right? Need that go on? They came in with the J double, F the A to D that is the if you want the solution to the quiz. What's black and black, yo, and kills another? An ignorant sucker that's labeled as a brother, but another. So now it's time we involve and get together and solve it, cause the word is revolving around a terrible situation. One would kill another for a reputation. So it's time we stop and realize that we're all the same. Yo, Train, tell them we're all in the same gang. R.I.P. to Train. That was Train right there. DJ Train, who lost his life in a house fire. Lonzo Williams knew him very well. And it was pretty much shortly after this video that Train lost his life in a house fire. R.I.P. to Train. But that's JJ Fad, and they are still killing it to this day. They're rocking shows all over the country. I just saw JJ Fad about a year ago in Long Beach, and they were hype as shit. They were hype. It was a great time. I love all those nostalgia shows, like those old school nostalgia hip hop acts. I don't really go to see new acts anymore, and that's why the nostalgia shows are killing it. The new kids, they can't sell out anything. They get a bunch of likes and tweets and streams and stuff, but ain't nobody coming to their concerts. Lil Baby is had a hard time selling out his play. Like all these, look, and that's no knock on them because they're doing their thing, but these guys had a rough time selling tickets. Meanwhile, all the old school acts are doing their thing, and so is JJ Fad. Shout out to JJ Fad. Next up on the song was Young MC, another one who a lot said sold out at that time. If you don't remember Young MC, he was the one who sang Just Bust a Move. And you want it, and you've got it, and you want it, baby, you just bust a move. Hey, hey, hey. I mean, you know, he did his thing. He had his one hit. And you know what? I don't knock one-hit wonders. I don't like people who knock one-hit wonders. Let me light up my J while I give props to the one-hit wonders. Because you know how hard it is just to get one hit. And you first of all, it's a bunch of people who can never get one hit in their whole life that knock one-hit wonders. You know, but dude, it's hard to get one hit. Speaking of hits, let me take a hit of that. All right. But no knock on Young MC. The sad thing is a lot of these guys probably don't own these one hits that they could be making a lot of money from. That's the sucky part. That wasn't the case for Sir Mix-a-Lot, who's not on this song, but Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, owns that song. So whenever Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back gets played anytime in a karaoke bar or a jukebox or on stage or at a concert or at a basketball game, basically every day at least it's being played somewhere around the world, Sir Mix-a-Lot gets paid. That's what I love hearing. I don't know if that's the case for Young MC, unfortunately, for Bust a Move. Now back then, were there more Crips than Bloods, or was it vice versa?
Portland is a city like they compare it to Compton a lot.
Okay.
Or they compare it to San Diego a lot. The Bloods outweigh the Crips in Portland about 4-1.
Okay. Damn. And has it always been like that, to the best of your knowledge?
When I say 4-1, that's being light. It might be more like 5, 6, 7-1. But it's always been like that.
Okay. And who are some of the Portland blood sets that we would recognize down here in LA?
Well, of course, the West Side Pyrus came out here. Like I said, the Bounty Hunters came out here. You had Denver Lanes. You had some Treetops. Hooters Parks. And then the Portland branched off from there, which ended up being the Woodlawn Park Pyrus.
What's the Mexican gang presence like down there, up there?
The Mexicans, so you had the Serranos, that came up, it was 18th Street. 18th Street fucked with the Crips. And then you had a little bit of the Norteños that fucked with the Bloods, just, because of the red rags and the blue rags. And then a lot of the Serranos, when they first came from LA, the younger ones was more so trying to be Crips. Because you had a mixture of Mexicans that was Crips, too. You had some Southsiders from 18s, and then you had your 13s and your 14s. But they mixed in with the Crips just because they blue rags. And some of the younger brothers, not from the first generation, but second or third generations, was Cripping when they got to Portland. Okay. Eventually, they moved further out to where the Mexican hoods, and they started banging 18th Street. So 18th Street is real deep out in Portland.
And you said are they still cool with Crips, or has it changed since then?
They because we went to jail, but we prison time together, and we knew each other. We still cool, but they do their thing, and they do their thing. They don't really finesse like they used to.
Okay. And how old were you when you joined?
I got 16 when I got in.
Okay.
I was 17 when I shot. 18 when I went to jail for shooting somebody. White guy called me and shot him in his face.
Oh shit! See, I got your whole bio. I read something about you online, so I want to get to all that. But I'm telling you,
you got the bio.
Slow, real talk. It was just an article I came across of you, so I know a little bit about you. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. But yeah, let's take it back to the day you got. Did you get put on, like, as far as jumped in or whatnot?
When I first got in, my homeboy, his cousin was from Kirby, and they was about 7, 8 deep at the time. And my homeboy took me went over there, and I never got mixed in because I had 7th or 8th man on. But we had went down some shootings that day, and that kind of put me on.
Okay, so it sounds like you were a shooter. You were the shooter.
Yeah. That's from the start to the finish.
Yeah, I want to ask you about. I know you've been shot at, from what I read, over 300 times.
About something like that.
Wow.
Around that, maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more since then.
Okay.
But
yeah, because
I've also been shot 5 times too.
This article's about 8 years old. And
yeah, I've been hit about 5 times out of that.
Oh, damn.
And the first time was an 89.
Ooh. A high percentage of the incidents described in the RICO indictment can be traced back to podcasts or online back and forth activity. God damn, I've been saying this for years. Why do people say some of the stuff that they say online? It baffles me. Back in the day, the cool thing was to not get caught. The cool thing was to not spread the word. The cool thing was to do a crime and just shut the fuck up. Now, it's mandatory almost. It's part of the game, this game that we play, right? It's all part of the game, homie. It's all part of the game. You know one thing I realized about the game? Early, and I still realize it to this day? We're the ones playing the game, but we always losing the motherfucking game. Name me one of us that won the game. Name me one person of color who's won this game. I think it's all part of the game, homie. Chalk it up to the game, dog. You know what I'm saying? We're the only ones that lose in this game. They're the only ones that win. The only ones that win are the white folks, man. The ones who profit off of us. Prisons. The judges, the lawyers. I mean, we keep so many white folks in business. It's crazy. They're the ones winning the game, and they ain't even playing this motherfucker. They just waiting for us to get down to our last quarter. Put that last quarter in the machine. And lose that game so they can send your ass to one of those prisons. But trust when I tell you, that is what they are going to do. Right now, the city of Los Angeles is cleaning up for the Olympics. Cleaning up, man. If you are not aware of 1984, let me share a little story with you. See, back in 1984, it was a rough time in Los Angeles. Crack just hit the streets like a wildfire, and people were busting back and forth with Uzis. You had Batarams coming down the street. You had 50 Crips hanging out on the corner. You had gangs sprouting up everywhere. 1984 was a rough time in Los Angeles. But guess what? Rain, sleet, shine, Crip blood or snow, we are going to have the Olympics in 1984. So what did the city of Los Angeles decide to do? I mean, there was homeless. We had Skid Row. We had a lot of pockets in LA with a lot of homeless. We had gangs galore. Well, what they started doing is locking motherfuckers up. Oh, they probably started back in 82, 83. They started rounding people up. And what happened was a documentary came out, a news story came out, an expose came out about this hidden underworld where people in red are shooting at people in blue, and they're selling this crazy rock out of a bag that has everybody going crazy. And this is where they're going to be having the 1984 Olympics. And all of a sudden, Los Angeles was the number one spotlight in the world. Wait, this is where we're going to be having the Olympics? So the city of LA got in front of it, cleaned out the areas where the Olympics were going to be held. The Olympics were held in different sections all over Los Angeles County. They had swimming in Long Beach. They had track and field in Compton. But that's literally all I can think of right now. I don't watch the Olympics. I don't give a damn about the Olympics, to be honest with you. But they cleaned up the areas where the Olympics and the traffic was going to be headed. They had curfews. If you were out past a certain time, you're getting arrested and sent to jail. And you'll just sit. Don't get arrested the day before the Olympics, because your ass is sitting there as long as the Olympics is on going on, they'll let you. And that's what they did. Made a bunch of people sit in jail while the Olympics were going on. And then after the Olympics, they just let them back out. All right, go ahead. You can do it now. Go ahead and do whatever you want. Now you can do whatever you want. That was Los Angeles. That's what they were doing in 1984. They were hiding this underworld of C's and B's being thrown up. What the heck? No, California ain't just palm trees and blonde bitches. No? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, no. There is a whole underworld. And you best believe come 2028, and you're going to notice your city. They're going to start paying a little more attention come 2028. And they're starting right now. Right now. It's a big job. It's going to take a long time, few years, to clean up the city. But trust me when I tell you, they are trying their hardest, and they will be trying their hardest to clean it up. What do you think? Am I tripping? Comment down below. And please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button.